Today I'm going to share with you another adaptation or way an animal changes to survive. We've learned that animals can blend in with their environment to hide from predator or to sneak up on their prey. We've learned that some animals migrate for warmer weather or food, and today we're going to learn that some animals hibernate. Hibernate means that they go to sleep in the winter to store energy, to conserve their energy. We're going to read a book today called Over and Under the Snow. We're going to find out some places where animals hibernate. Over the snow I glide into the woods, frosted, fresh, and white. Could that be? Over the snow, a flash of fur, a red squirrel disappears down a crack. Where did he go? Under the snow, Dad says. Red squirrels not only travel and hide under the snow, but they also store food underground. They hide seeds and nuts in holes or under rocks and use their fantastic sense of smell to find them later when they're hungry. Under the snow is a whole secret kingdom where the smallest forest animals stay safe and warm. You're skiing over them now. Burrow into the ground. You see their little home? Over the snow I glide, past beech trees rattling leftover leaves and strong silent pines that stretch to the sky. On a high branch, a great horned owl keeps watch. Under the snow, a tiny shrew dodges columns of ice. It follows a cool tunnel of moss out of the sunlight. So he's going to go down into a tunnel underground. A shrew. Look, Dad says, tracks, always tell a story. Over the snow, a deer has crossed our path. Deep hoof prints punch through the crust, up the hill, and under a tree. An oval of melted snow tells the story of a good night's sleep. Under the snow, deer, mice, does. They huddle up, cuddle against the cold and the nest of feathers and fur. Let's see if you can find deer mice. There they are, burrowed in the ground, and they snuggle together so that they can keep extra warm. White-tailed deer like to sleep under evergreen trees with cones. It provides them a shelter on winter nights. When they curl up to sleep, some of the snow underneath them melts, making their deer beds easy to spot in the woods. So that's how the father in the story knew that the oval melted snow tells the story of a good night's sleep. So can you find where the deer was hibernating? Very good, right there. Over the snow I climb, digging in my edges so I don't slide back down. Under the snow, voles snatch through slippery tunnels, searching for morsels from the summer feast. Some animals have tunnels in the ground. In winter. Over the snow, I swoosh. Down, faster, down, faster. Under the snow, a snowshoe hare watches from her shelter of spruce. Almost invisible, she smooths her fur coat, a coat of winter white. That shows camouflage too. She's able to blend in with her surroundings. Can you find the hare? Very good, she's right there. But just like I said, the hare shows an example of camouflage. They are famous for their seasonal changes. And this summer, those hares have a coat that's a reddish brown or gray. But as the winter approaches, they shed that hair and replace it with white hair to blend in with the snow. That makes it much easier for the snowshoe hare to hide from predators. Shoe hare. Over the snow I glide, past reeds where tadpoles play tag in springtime. Under the snow, fat bullfrogs snooze. They dream of some warm days back when they had tails. So here's the frogs, and they actually hibernate in mud at the bottom of the pond. So they're in that mud. Over the snow, I stand and stare, little mountains in the marsh. Under the snow, beavers gnaw on aspen bark. Settled in for supper, can they hear my tummy rumbling too? Over the snow, stop, a sound. We stand like statues, carved in ice, till a bushy-tailed fox steps from the thicket, tips his ear to the ground, and listens, listens. So beavers don't actually hibernate in the winter, but they do slow down and they don't use as much energy, so they don't move around as much. They store food so that they have it close by and they don't have to use a lot of energy to move around during the winter. Our friend the fox here will get very close to the ground because guess what? Some animals are in tunnels or burrows under the ground. And so the fox is going to listen. And if he hears a sound, he's going to start digging and he'll find his food. The red fox leaps out onto the snow after an invisible dinner. His paws scratch away to find the mouse he heard scritch, scritch, scratching along the underneath the snow. Over the snow I glide, a full moon lights my path to supper. Under the snow, a chipmunk wakes for a meal. Bedroom, kitchen, hallway, his house under my feet. So look, he's got his own little house down there. And in his house, he has a room for sleeping, a room for storing food, and several tunnels for exiting and entering the burrow. So he's not totally asleep for the winter, but he does go down there to keep warm, or she. Over the snow I climb one last hill, bonfire smoke rises, warm hands, hot cocoa, hot dogs sizzling on pointed sticks. Under the snow a black bear snores, still full of October blueberries and trout. Now black bears sleep most of the winter. Before they go to sleep, they gorge themselves on food. So it's like Thanksgiving, and they just eat and eat and eat and eat so that they're full during the winter and they can live off of their stored food. They eat foods like fish and berries, so they'll have enough energy to last until spring. Their dens might be in hollowed out trees, under logs or rocks, or in caves. Over the snow, the fire crackles and sparks shoot up to the stars. I lick the sticky marshmallow from my lip and lean back with heavy eyes. Shadows dance in the flames. Under the snow, a queen bumblebee drowses away December all alone. She'll rule a new colony in spring. Where's our bumblebee? Bumblebees don't all survive winter and cold climates. In fact, males and worker bees die in the fall, leaving only the queen bees alive. The queen bees hibernate in soil or under a layer of leaves. They can produce their own antifreeze to keep them from freezing if temperatures drop too low. When the queen emerges in the spring, she'll find a cool, dark place to nest and lay her eggs to start a new colony. That's kind of a unique hibernator. Over the snow I glide home on tired legs. Clouds whisper down feathery soft flakes. Under the covers, I snuggle deep and drift into dreams of cuddling deer mice and slumbering frogs, hungry beavers and tunneling voles, drowsy bears and busy squirrels, and the secret kingdom under the snow. I hope you enjoy finding the secret kingdom with me underneath the snow today. So why would these animals hide in the snow? Well, snow provides an insulation just like in our house. Our house can keep the heat inside and keep it at the right temperature, and snow does the same thing. It keeps it 32 degrees even when the air outside is much colder. So if they're in the snow, it acts as like a little insulator for it, like a little house, and so they don't get colder than 32 degrees. Small rodents like mice, moles, and voles travel under the snow because it helps them keep safe from predators. Some predators get tricky though. Weasels have skinny bodies and can squeeze into the tunnels in search of prey. So, today we learned about hibernation. What can you tell me about hibernation? If you said it's when an animal goes into deep sleep in the winter and burrows away from other animals, you are correct. They have to find a place to keep warm. Some store food ahead of time, and some have food in their burrow so that they can survive during that time. Bats actually hibernate upside down in caves. A groundhog will burrow underground, and a ladybug hibernates in a log. If you're curious, find out another hibernator and be sure to tell your class. So we have camouflage, which means you blend into your surrounding. You have hibernation, which means that you're going to make a little home for the winter, and some go into a deep sleep and you store your food. And third, we have migration. Migration is when an animal travels to warmer weathers for that winter season. Sometimes they have other reasons, like they need to get more food or they have to mate or lay their eggs. I hope you've enjoyed learning about all the different types of adaptations and behaviors that an animal can do in the winter or other seasons to survive.